Ahoy, swabs! Captain Jeff the Pirate here, at your service. And welcome to Captain Jeff Reviews and Questions Adventure Time. This be a bit of a somber one, folks, because for so many years, like you saw on the title card, it's been a long and crazy and fun ride, but Adventure Time be coming to an end. In 2018. That image you saw, it wasn't by me, it was posted by the Adventure Time people on Facebook. I don't own it, I haven't made it, I'm just using that to show. So, they showed 4 episodes a while back. Sorry it's taking me so long to get to this. Arr. So yeah, we got 4 episodes, and yeah, it'll be over in 2018. And all I have to say is Adventure Time, ye people, there's some stuff from not only last season, but from the entire series. You have to tie up some loose ends. You have some stuff to resolve. If you don't, we will be very upset. With that, let's get right into the review. I'm going to review 4 episodes in one shot. Just try to give you the general broad strokes. Okay, here we go. First, starting with The Wild Hunt. This episode, it takes place a few days, I'm guessing sometime after the end of the episode 3 Buckets. So, from season to season. Something be terrorizing the Banana Guards, and it'd be up to Finn and Jake, well, Finn and Huntress Wizard, to find out what this thing is and stop it. This episode I thought it'd be fairly good because Finn, he's having some emotional and psychological issues after... Normally when he defeats a foe or vanquishes it, he has no problem whatsoever, but this last foe he vanquished, there'd be some problems. It's yeah, he had some problems about the last person that he beat. Huntress Wizard is trying to help him get through that, so he can remain focused to take out this new threat to the Candy Kingdom. Arr. So we see a new monster, and we see this mysterious gentleman who's be lurking in the shadows somewhere, trying to find a way to, I don't know, commit some form of evil. I like this episode also because it shows how, after having no feelings from Princess Bubblegum, and after the crazy what happened with Flying Princess, Finn seems to be getting into like a 3rd time's the charm, I'm guessing, relationship with Huntress Wizard. I'm hoping things work out well in that department. Yeah, this was a good episode. I wouldn't say it's 100% great. There's some spots here and there. I just really could. I give this episode a thumb and a half up. It was really good, but it just seemed to lack it just need a little extra oomph to make it perfect. But oh well, beggars can't be choosers. All right, next episode. Always BMO Closing. Yeah, alright, yeah, this episode, I thought it was... Okay, what do we got going on here? BMO paired with the Ice King. Okay, I get it. It's an interesting take. Let's see how this works. So, BMO and the Ice King are pretending to be dire-to-dire salesmen, and it's pretty funny. This is an episode where it's good, but... Here's what, I didn't think it was going anywhere, but then I was proven wrong a few episodes later. It's like the whole... Chekhov's gun theory. Like, you only put it in there if you want it to be, you know, essential for the story. Anyway, eventually BMO and the Ice King meet up once again with this mysterious stranger lurking in the shadows, and there'll be a line from this episode that comes into play a few episodes later on. Also, now, here's what. Ice King is just completely clueless, and BMO, I get he's having fun just making up stuff since Finn and Jake, he doesn't really hang out with Finn and Jake that much for, like, adventures and whatnot, and he doesn't really seem to, like, Nepter. But, yeah, so, this one episode, there'd be actions and consequences, and BMO fails to realize there's a correlation between actions of what you do and the consequences thereafter. This was an alright episode. Like, there are some elements that do carry over into the next few, but this one, I give this episode 1 thumb up. It was alright, but not something that I guess you'd have to see, like, maybe some parts of it, but it probably could have been worked around a little bit better. Alright, so the next episode be Son of Rap Bear. In this episode, I thought it was alright. There'll be a new rapper in town, and we haven't seen or heard of Rap Bear since the episode Billy's Bucket List. It'd just be an interesting concept. Now, this episode, the main villain be featuring, it's the one true King of Oo's former right-hand associate henchman, Goon. He's going to try to trick the Flame Princess into losing her Fire Kingdom if she can't beat Son of Rat Bear. Now, Finn was able to beat Rat Bear, but this new guy, he'd be a lot tougher. This episode, I think, was alright because it gave, for Flame Princess, it showed her out of the kingdom. They gave her a quick chance to get some life, real-world experience, so that'd be fairly nice. And, let's see, oh yeah, and then they're trying to tie things up, which I am glad for, between her and her father. It kind of peters out even. Yeah. But this would be a good episode. I liked it, but I felt like it was one of those unnecessary ones. But still, it does show how Flame Princess is getting balanced out with world experience, her father, and it shows how she and Finn are now on a good friend terms, so I liked that episode. I'd be giving it 1 thumb up. The last episode, this be the big one. Bonnibel Bubblegum. Arr. This episode has the most impact and has the most spoilery stuff. This be Princess Bubblegum recounting to Marceline, Finn, and Jake about what she did after she left the gum collection with her dragon gum brother. She tells about the origin of her kingdom and about like the first 4 candy citizens besides her and her brother. There was her aunt, I guess her cousin, and Uncle Gumbald. Now who's the 4th person? Well, here's what. This episode, I swear, it calls back to the very first episode of the entire series. Because, here's what. This is going to be interesting. She makes her relatives out of herself. And in that, we find it has some positive traits and negative traits. This will be interesting, because it kind of be a reflection of who she is and what she has become, or will become, I guess, technically. But anyway, one of her new candy citizens, they create Mr. Cream Puff. If you recall from Slumber Party Panic, he and Bubblegum used to date. The date doesn't go too well, and Bubblegum learns that they are trying to usurp her. This will be interesting because it's like the episode of Kids Next Door where they explain how the kids made the adults and the adults made the toys, and the kids are like, well, we made the adults, so maybe we should get the toys for free since they made it and we made them. Or for those of you who are of an older audience or film buffs of old animation, or if you're fans of the Nostalgia Critic, there'd be The Secret of Nim, where they had the rats and, the mice, saying how we should either try to find our own power source or should we continue to siphon off power from the humans. Alright, sorry, getting way too deep in there. Okay, the episode ends, and here's what. When she's finished telling the story, I was like, okay, there's one of 2 possibilities. I had 2 theories. One was weaker than the other, and the third one I came up with thanks to the Adventure Time Wikipedia. Theory 1. Here's what. Okay, wait. So at the end, she discovers this silver chalice, which bears a certain logo on the inside. And it looks like what happened, and here's what. The chalice on the inside. The person we've been seeing in the shadows ever since the episode 3 Buckets, Uncle Gumbald. But how was he around? Because according to the end of her story, her evil uncle, aunt, and cousin were turned into Crunchy, the Pinata, and the Dancing Fruit Punch Bowl, all of which we saw in the first episode of the whole series. So either 3 things have happened. 1. Princess Bubblegum's memory, it is 800 years old, is a little... Now we've seen Marceline, her memory actually works, and she's actually, I think, older than Bubblegum. Like, there's only a few people left from back, like just a little bit after the Mushroom War, who would have a recount of what has happened in the last 1,000 years or so. But you got Betty, Ice King, Marceline, and Bubblegum, so not exactly a very trustworthy crowd source here. So that's the weakest theory I got, that she may have misremembered some of the details of her own life. Given how she's probably devoted to science and creating her own kingdom and pretty much, ignoring the feelings and thoughts of some of the other people. Okay, theory number 2. She flat out lied. Given Bubblegum's track record, I wouldn't say that's too far off the mark. I mean, seriously, the first time we catch her in her lie, it's from the it was the episode The Vault, where Finn finds out about her true age. So honestly, I could totally understand why she would lie and say, oh, this happened to this character, this happened to this character, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, when she finds the chalice, she'd be like, wait. And then, it hasn't aired yet, but if this theory holds, then they'll be like, okay, Bonnie, what really happened? Okay, here's what really happened. I'd be like, yeah, so this be why Princess Bubblegum isn't exactly, she has great character development, but it's weird. Character development be great, but we don't like the character she's become. Granted, she has kind of mellowed out and kind of tried to be good and come back to normal over the last few seasons, but alright, the third theory, and this one makes the scariest amount of sense, and this be from the Adventure Time Wikipedia. This happened at the end of the episode Elements, where LSP, I still can't believe this, actually saved the world. LSP did her pulse and had it, go across the entire land and revert everyone back to normal, back to their original stages where they were. And we saw the effect that it had on Jake. So, if 3 of the Kennedy citizens are her former relatives, Crunchy, we saw Crunchy, we saw the Punch Bowl, and we saw the Pinata. Well, here's what. In one of the previous episodes, we saw Crunchy, we saw a poster that said that Crunchy was missing. I think it was always BMO Closing. Yeah. So, if that's the case, obviously when LSP did her thing, then Bonnibel's relatives are now back. As for what happened to the aunt and the cousin, I have no idea. But apparently Gumball is back in action. Now, I'm trying to figure this out. If this is the case, or any of these cases, my question is, there was a line from the episode Always BMO Closing. BMO is selling Gumball Finn's teeth, and he's like, wait, are these human teeth? Baby human teeth? From Finn the human? The one who's always thwarting my plans? And I'm like, wait a minute. How long have you been in business, man? So, if it was after the events of the Elements, I'm trying to figure out how long has Gumball been doing this? Like, was he doing this before? Like, was he doing this after the events of Elements? Like, how many of these things that Finn has fought had to deal with, or how many monsters or dungeons and mazes and creatures and other things as he had to deal with were all like some nefarious plot by Gumball? Or, if like I said, if Bubblegum was lying or misremembered, then how long has he been around beforehand? Like, what, was that a Gumball double? Was that a fake? I mean, like, what, has he been doing this like since the start of the series? Because that would explain why he quoted Finn as always ruining his plans. Yeah, so there'll be those are the theories. My two were, the first one was weak, the second one 50-50, the third one makes a scary amount of sense. And I'll have to be trying to figure out what other things has Gumball been doing. But yeah, so this episode, I thought it was really good, but just needed a little more. I mean, we got Princess Bubblegum's backstory, we got more of that. We saw some interaction, we saw how parts of the kingdom came to be, but we also saw how, I think we also saw parts of her reflected in her relatives because she created them from herself. Yeah, so I gave the episode a 3.5 up. So yeah, we had 2 thumbs and a halves up, and in between were 2 1 thumbs up. So yeah, this would be an interesting way to start off the final series, the final season of the series. So like I said, I'm hoping they resolve a few issues because they kind of need to. Well, I'm hoping they do, yeah. Sorry this took so long to create, but real world elements, blah blah blah, you don't care. Okay, until next time, this will be Captain Jeff reviewing and question Adventure Time, saying thank you for watching, and as always, arrgh.